Thank you for joining us today for the virtual Sunday service with the Center for Creative Living. CCL, a charter of the Universal Church of the Master, has served and supported the spiritual needs of its community here in the Bay Area for over 20 years.
Hi, and welcome. We're going to be starting a new year. Isn't that exciting? Are you all ready? Have you finished celebrating Christmas and now looking forward to the new year? I am looking toward 2021. To me, this is going to be a new year to reevaluate who we are, where we're going, and what we're doing, especially with the Center for Creative Living. Being able to get back into our building is going to be so great. And I keep getting a note from my spirit guide, Ma, that looks like April. So let's keep our fingers crossed and hope Ma's right, okay? That we'll be able to get back in there and be able to celebrate and hug and eat after service and do all those wonderful things, all right? Now, today, we're going to have a wonderful speaker, and that's Joan Stutes. And you've heard Joan before, and she's going to be talking about giving. Yeah, I just got through talking about giving and receiving for the Billy DeFrank Center for their Christmas program for Christmas, okay? And now we're going to have somebody else talking about giving. This is a good time of year to look at what are you giving, what are you doing, how are you helping other people, and also how are you giving to yourself, helping yourself. Now today our prayer is going to be done by the Reverend Dr. Ayleen. Reverend Dr. Ayleen Augustine is our wonderful president of the Universal Church of the Master. And what a great way to start a new year is hear from her. So we want you to be sure to let her know how much you appreciate having her be the president and how much you appreciate having Corry be the vice president. And all of these people at the Universal Church of the Master who are being supportive during this time of year. Here at CCL, we want to thank the Reverend Corry Whitaker. Corky. See what happens with me? The Reverend Corky Whitaker. No, Corry is UCM, Corky is CCL, and sometimes it gets confused. But Corky has been putting together the CCL Insight for all these years. Thank you so much, Corky. And she also is in charge of recording for when we are doing our Sunday service. And I really want to thank her for that too. This is a wonderful time of year to be thankful. And that's giving people thanks and thanking them for what they've been doing. So you want to stay right here and watch the wonderful Reverend Joan Stutes. Hear the prayer by our wonderful Reverend Dr. Ayleen Augustine, and see the meditation by Reverend Janet Childs, accompanied by the video by Reverend Corry Gott. Now, if it sounds like an awful lot of reverence, that's true, because we believe each one of you, no matter who you are or where you live, are a minister in your own right. If you want to be ordained, get your ministerial certificate, please contact me at 408-220-5780, and we'll get you in touch with somebody that can sponsor you to become a minister. How's that sound? New year, moving into it. And you can send questions for the new year, because I'm going to be doing prophesizing with my spirit guide, Ma. I'm doing that for the Billy DeFrank Center. But I also am going to be answering questions that anybody wants to send in. One question, please, per person about the new year. And I will be wonderfully excited about it and being able to help you and give you answers that I have channeled from my spirit guide, Mahalalel, or Ma, as I call him. 408-220-5780, or you can email me at safe, SAFEDOTI, at AOL.com. And now for the prayer.
Well, good morning, everyone. I hope that you all had a wonderful and blessed Christmas. And if you hold it that way, or if you hold it a different way, may whatever that day have meant to you been as sweet and peaceful as it could possibly have been. Dottie mentioned last week that it was the winter solstice. And in the Druidic tradition, one of the traditions that I follow, we referred to it as Alban Arthur, which is the light of winter. It is also known as the light of Arthur. And the idea is that in the most dire need of his people, King Arthur will return. And the way that we view winter solstice is as an opportunity to be able to let go of the things that no longer serve us. It is that time of introspection when we are able to take a look at the things that happened, both the things that were good things and maybe not so much, and to appreciate each and every one, because each one gave us gifts. Even the hard things we went through provided us with gifts. And when we can look at what it is that we gained, even if it's nothing more than the knowledge that we were stronger than we thought that we could be, then we can be able to release it and move into spring. And it's important for us to remember that spring always comes. Hard times always end. Granted, so do good times. It is a constant cycle of the things that we enjoy versus the things we're challenged by. And they both give us very important benefits. And we can learn a lot. And it's a part of that moving forward process of just accepting that, yeah, it was bad and it was hard and we're not sorry to see this year end. Keep in mind, 2021 will have its own challenges. 2021 will have its own benefits, just like 2020. And by being able to let 2020 go peacefully, to be able to say, all right, there were some good things out of it, and to consider those good things that we gained, then we can let it go, not throwing it away, but releasing it, knowing that it did change us, and it helped us to grow, and it helped us to appreciate more. So consider your gifts from 2020. Don't be so quick to throw it away, because there was a lot that we learned, and those lessons should not be forgotten. And then look forward to all of the grace and beauty and amazement that comes with the new year, that comes with the spring. And understanding, as I often say, life is fun until it isn't, and it sucks until it doesn't. And there is always a gift. There's always something that will make us more than what we were, whether it's by making us appreciate it for just the joy it brings us, or whether it's something that, well, has strengthened us through pressure and adversity. So whatever has happened, you are more than you ever thought you could be at the beginning of this year. So walk into the sunlight of spring, because it is coming. And we can appreciate all that we have, and all that we still hold, and all that we have learned. 2020 was a very good teacher. And as it passes out of our lives, let's take every single opportunity and every single lesson that we ever learned from it and have that be what we carry forward. So, take a nice deep breath in, and as you let go, allow yourself to go into that nice, gentle place, setting aside anything that's weighing on your body, your mind, or your spirit. And you let those things fall into that little imaginary basket next to you. That's your care basket, because in this space and at this moment, you don't need to hold on to it. Dear blessed and wonderful Creator, we thank you for this day and we thank you for our lives. We thank you for all the blessings you give in each and every moment and with each and every breath. Thank you for the blessing of, and please bless all those who have had very challenging times, who are dealing with loss, who are dealing with fear, who are dealing with anger and frustration. Creator, we pray that they feel you next to them, letting them know that they're not alone, letting them know that you understand that they're frustrated or hurting or afraid, and that you would never leave them alone. Thank you for the blessing of, and please bless all those who continue to work through all these challenging times, especially those who are in our hospitals and in our care facilities, because they show up every single day and face things that most of us don't have to. Creator, we ask that you bless them with strength and renewed faith in what they're doing, and let them know how much they matter. Creator, we thank you for winter because it gives us that time to look inward. And we also thank you for the coming spring, because we know at the end of that dark space, that light that we see is you. And we thank you for allowing us to have that light ignited in each and every one of us so that we may in turn become a light for others. Thank you for all the ways that you bless us. Thank you for being our companion, our friend, our cheerleader, and occasionally for telling us, no, we can't have what we want right away, that we just need to wait a bit, and that you have something better in mind. Thank you for always letting us know we can trust you. And Creator, whatever it means to you, I hope you have a wonderful day. For all your creation to the next 7 generations and beyond, Aho Mitak Oyasin, Ago, 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 by earth, sea, and sky, Namaste, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, blessed be, Amen.
Kwanzaa, celebration of life. Nguzo Saba, the 7 principles to follow. Umoja, in unity, we come together in peace. Kujichagulia, with our motivation and freedom to choose, we move forward in our purpose to our great destiny. Ujima, working together and sharing responsibility in order to build a future of cooperation. Ujamaa, investing in each other so we all may thrive, and celebrating profits as a loving and caring community. Nia, no matter where our life's direction and goals will take us, our core purpose is always to build each other up. Kuumba, with creativity we add in many ways more beauty to the world. Imani, with our faith, we believe in each other, and we believe our world and our lives will change. The 7 candles, green, red, and black. We celebrate, we celebrate. The 7 candles, green, red, and black. We celebrate, we celebrate. Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa. of change, guide our way. Marisha, Oya, Mother of change, guide our way. Marisha, Oya, Mother of change, guide our way. We celebrate life, 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 we celebrate Kwanzaa.
Good morning. I am so happy to be here with you today, the last Sunday in this year of 2020, the year some of us thought would never end, but now it's going to end, and we're going to begin a whole new year, 2021. I've watched people make major life changes as they went through this year. They bought houses, they sold houses, they moved out of state, they moved closer to family, they moved away from family. They decided to get married, they decided to get a divorce, they got engaged, they had babies. All kinds of major life choices were made this year by so many people. And I think it's because we were, first of all, frightened because of this COVID virus. And it's right to be frightened by that, to be cautious, to be mindful, to wear the mask and do sensible things. That's right, to be frightened. So part of it was because we were frightened. And the other part was that we were quiet. We had more time to just sit and think, and we weren't running around so much. So we had a long, quiet time. And I know that for me, I had many life changes this year. I've redecorated my house. This weekend, Christmas week, I'm putting in a new kitchen. It is so exciting. It's going to be clean and beautiful. I've ramped up my business. My business is blossoming. And of course, my husband passed away in April, and I reunited with my friend from before I knew Earl, and his name is Rich, and he gave me this lovely stole. So many things happened this year that were life-changing for many people. And so today I'm going to talk about 2 or 3 different things, as I usually do. One is how the Bible looks at money and the benefits of giving steadily, which encourages and sets up a way of receiving steadily. So it's giving and receiving. And then the next part that I'm going to talk about is what we call legacy planning. In other words, how will you have your resources dispersed when you pass on? It's an important decision and things that people have been considering this year because, again, we're frightened and we have time to sit and think. So let's begin with the idea of giving initiates a stream of receiving. So I'm going to read this first verse of the Bible to you. And because I'm from the Christian background, I tend to rely on Bible information, and I particularly like Proverbs. And this says, honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your produce. Then your barns will be filled with plenty, and your vats will be bursting with wines. All right, notice that they ask for the first produce, the best produce, and then your barns will be filled. Your vats will be filled with wine. So this is a promise. This is a promise that if you give your first, give your best, then your own situation will be improved. This is a promise from the Father in heaven given to you through this. Now I'm going to tell you a story. Is that okay? My granddaughter attends a church, a Christian church, and one day she was sitting there with $100 and looking at it and wondering how much to put in the collection plate. And a little voice in her head said, put it all in. She said, what? All of it? Put it all in. So she did. She put it all in. Now, I knew nothing about this, but a couple of days later, I went on to our local news group and found a babysitting job for her. And I called the lady and talked to her, and then I gave the number to Cassie. And the lady was very generous. Cassie ended up driving her 7-year-old son to a number of school events and back and forth to school. And she was paid much more than the $100 that she'd given. I think it was around $250. So she gave her first, and then her wallet, if you will, her purse, her barn, her vats were filled and overflowing. So that's one of my favorite stories. Would I have given the $100? I don't think so, but I don't always listen to the little voice like I should. Okay, I'm going to read you another Bible verse here. This is from the New Testament, Matthew 6. Beware of practicing your righteousness before other people in order to be seen by them, for then you will have no reward from your Father who is in heaven. Thus, when you give to the needy, sound no trumpets before you, so that your giving may be in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. In other words, give as a normal course of life. Don't make a big deal out of it. Set it up so that you're giving and you're receiving. And the Father who is in secret knows that you're doing this and rewards you. So this is the way of setting up a stream of income. First, by setting up a stream of giving, of regular giving, of substantial giving, of going forward, knowing that you have enough to give. So you've heard the term, fake it until you make it. Yeah, well, one way you can use that is you can pretend that you are wealthy and that you have plenty and that you can give. And as you pretend that you are wealthy and give, then your rewards will begin coming into you. Now, obviously, you want to be careful about how you do it, and you want to stay within your budget. But every budget can be adjusted to allow for giving. You know, sometimes I think we think about giving and we think, well, when I get old, I'll give, or when I get rich, I'll give, or when I have more, I'll give, or I can't give this month, I'll give next month. But the secret of establishing a regular income and a regular increase in your prosperity is to set up a regular giving to your spiritual source community, and then your rewards will begin trickling in, and perhaps bouncing in big time, like my granddaughters did. And she has been amazing. She got through 4 years of college with no debt through her constant believing and practicing giving and practicing listening to the secret voice, right? Where the Father sees you. Okay, so that's about the basis of it. This is the spiritual words that give you promise. These are promises. If you give, you will receive. And I believe in those promises, and I've established them and experienced it. You know, I have been journaling every day since April 27th and doing a gratitude list and just being aware of messages and having a little quiet time. And as a result of that, my life has just flowed in from one situation that's a lot of fun and beneficial to me to another situation. So I just really encourage you to take the time to journal, to think, to meditate, to listen to that little secret voice so that you can get these messages like my granddaughter did and like so many people do. Okay, the second thing I want to talk to you about today is legacy planning. And what that means is that as a part of your resources when you pass on, in other words, when you no longer have a physical body, when you die, when that physical body dies and you go up into spirit to be in what we often call heaven, then how are your resources, your money, how will that be dispersed? And who will get that money? So many times people say, well, I have family. I have a nephew. I have a cousin. Maybe you haven't seen them for 20 years, but they are family and you want to benefit them. But I want you to think about the community that benefits you today, that helps you on your journeys through this current life right now. Who cares for you? Where do you get your support? And use some of your funds, perhaps, to help them carry on their work. All right, now I have several organizations that I give to regularly. One is, of course, Center for Creative Living, where I get my spiritual nourishment and where I get my spiritual support. The other is Universal Church of the Masters, which gives us the parent church and the structure and provides a structure for our learning. And I'll talk about that in a minute. And then I also give to the Girl Scouts. And those three communities, those three organizations have community and they embrace diversity and they're supporting community as we move forward. And so that's why I choose those three organizations to be sure that some of my money will go to them. All right, the Universal Church of the Masters, as you know, springs from the spiritualist movement. And what it did is give people the certainty that there is life after death of the physical body. Now, in this time of COVID virus, where so many people are dying, this whole question of death and where are we going has become a topic of conversation, a real possibility for many people, and has been explored. So one of the messages that we give is, yes, we know that there is life after death of the physical body. And we know that because we converse with people who have moved on, and we have had conversations with them. In the late 1800s, when the spiritual movement was first born, the experiences of different spiritual groups were cataloged and compiled. And what they found is that each group had the same message. Yes, there's life after physical death. You no longer need to go to the priest or the minister for spiritual help or messages from God. You can speak directly to spirit. It was a revolution. And Universal Church of the Masters is just one of the organizations which was born from that revolution and carries on that tradition and gives a structure for teaching people about that. So it has an important part, an important place in the world. Maybe it's a tiny part, but it has a place to play in the world. The Center for Creative Living is a community within Universal Church of the Masters. And we in the Center for Creative Living help people understand these basic ideas. We teach people about these basic ideas. Yes, there's life after death. Yes, there's telepathy. Yes, there's a message in the secret message that you can get to rely on. Yes, your body can be healed. Yes, you can have more love. You can have a richer, fuller life. All those things we teach and we help people understand. So this again is a part, maybe it's a small part, but it's a part of moving the world forward in this uncertain time, moving the world forward into a greater spiritual understanding. So I give money to a lot of different organizations. So this time of year, I get a lot of letters saying, can you support us in through a legacy gift? And what they're saying is, if you die, we would like to have some of your money allocated to us. And are you willing to do that? And here's how you do it. So I get these letters all the time from the symphony, from Theater Works, from the Girl Scouts, from Open Spaces, 2 or 3 different organizations that I give money to. Now, there's only 3 that I choose. Okay, the ones that I mentioned, Girl Scouts, Universal Church of the Masters, and CCL. And the way I have chosen to do that is to change my insurance policy beneficiaries. Okay, that takes a little bit of work, I found out. If you want to name an organization in your 401k to receive part of your 401k or your bank savings account, it's fairly easy. You call them up and say, I want to add a beneficiary. You can give all or part of the money in those accounts to the organizations that you choose. If you have a will that's been prepared by an attorney or a trust that's been prepared by an attorney, that's a little bit more difficult. You may have to make a trip to the attorney. If you wish to do an informal list like my mom did, then that works too. She didn't have a lot of money, but she wanted certain people to get a gift from her when she passed. She made out a list of all the names and the amount of money. And she said, now, Joan, when I'm gone, if there's any money left, this is what I want you to do with it. So my job was to write the checks out to people so that her money would be sent to the people that she cared about. That is an informal way of handling it. A list and have a date and signature. It's informal. It won't stand up in court. It's an informal understanding, but it's a way of doing it. So, and the way you do that is you have someone you trust that has access to help you with your situation after you pass on. Then they will be responsible for doing that. So there's different ways of doing it. There's changing your will, changing your trust with an attorney. Okay, that is a process that's appropriate under certain circumstances. Okay, changing your 401k, your savings account, your insurance policies, those are a little different process. And as I mentioned, changing my insurance turned out to be a little bit more of a project than I thought, but it is doable. Okay, and why do we do that? So that these organizations can go forward. You know, CCL has a valuable place to play in the world. It would be good for it to go forward for the next 50 years. Next 100 years, it would be good for it to be going forward and to know that it is secure and can go forward. UCM has benefited from legacy donations, and they've been able to continue offering their program. Girl Scouts has gone out and openly solicited all kinds of people to establish certainty that their program will go forward. So that's how it happens. Regular giving creates a regular stream of income. At the end of your life, how will your resources be divided? That's a question that you might want to ask yourself in these days of COVID. You know, Earl and I had an understanding when he passed away, he wanted his son to have a certain percentage of his portfolio. So again, I was in charge. It was an informal agreement. I was in charge of writing checks to Earl's son. So, you know, that your family is nice. They don't have to get all of the money. Maybe that niece or nephew can have part of the money, and Center for Creative Living can have the rest of that money. So many of my clients are what I call orphans. You know, their family is not closely connected to them. Their parents have passed on. Often they were only children, or their brothers and sisters have gone on. They have no family. They do not have a support system. And their group of friends becomes their support system, or their adopted family. So the adopted family needs to be remembered in these legacy ideas. What happens to your money after your body goes away? That's the question. And this is a great time to ponder that because of the COVID virus and because of the whole situation that we're involved in right now. All right. Well, I wanted to take some time and kind of roll around it and explore it and I'm hoping you understand where I'm coming from and the way I feel about the importance of Center for Creative Living being maintained, being supported monthly, the importance of UCM being maintained and supported monthly, and other organizations that I care about. All right. Now, let's talk about 2021. I promise you, good things are going to happen in 2021. They will absolutely happen if you choose to adopt that attitude and go forward. Good things happening. Yes. Now, I know I'm going to tell you a story, which I've told before. And this is about imagining good things happening, planning for good things to happen, and then working toward getting good things to happen. Yes. All right. So here's the story. 33 years ago, I decided I wanted to get married. I had felt that way for a long time, but I really decided that I wanted to get married. So I made a vision board to attract a husband. And I found a picture of a darling couple with silver hair and kind of chunky, smiling and laughing. And I said, that's what I want. And the little voice inside my head said, you can't have that. You don't deserve that. You had a good marriage and you messed it up. All the negative programming that had kept me from finding a good person and from settling down came up right through my secret little brain here. And I was shocked. I did not know that I still had those ideas. Now, I had spent 15 years partying and having fun. And I did have fun and I enjoyed it. But what I wanted was to get married and have a stable life. So here was the little picture. And I said, that's what I want. And all these thoughts of why I couldn't possibly have it floated in. So I identified them and I said, I accepted them. And I said, yes, those are thoughts I have had. I didn't just run away from them. I acknowledged them. And then I started working to overcome them. I went to workshops and lectures and I read books. What is a good relationship? How does a good relationship work? How will I recognize someone who will make it into a good relationship? All those were profound questions that I had not asked myself previously. And now once I said, that's what I want, those questions came up. How do I get what I want? What changes do I have to make? If I had the right relationship information, I would have been in a relationship that was what I wanted. I wasn't. So the same thing with money. I made a vision board about money. Now, don't discount vision boards. And I want to tell you something. Find pictures where you can say, that's what I want. Because I want to tell you a secret. You ready? Oh, God loves pictures. Yes, God loves pictures. So find some pictures of money. Find some pictures of the kind of life you want. Find just one or two pictures, maybe, of something that you can say, that's what I want. Because once you can say that, then the reasons that you do not have it are going to explode into your brain. Explode. They do not float. They pierce. Boing, boing, boing. That's why you can't have it. Let them come in, examine them, acknowledge, yes, I used to think that way. What do I need to do to move away from that? How do I get what I want? So it may take some classes, may take some learning, may take some coaching, some counseling, some healing. It may take a lot of get well in that area activity to move into getting what you truly, truly want. But I can tell you from personal experience that that happened to me twice. Once was when I decided that I wanted to get married, and after a year of studying, meditating, visualizing, and preparation, I met Earl. We did get married, and we were married for 30 years before he passed on. Okay. The other time that that happened was when I decided that I wanted to be financially independent, but I didn't know what that meant. And I had to define it and say, that's what I want, and outline it. And I had to study and learn and adapt and work. And, it took some doing, but I'm there. So I know that it can happen for you. Now, there are vision board workshops coming up that you can participate in. They are helpful, they're fun, and they're helpful. I've been to a lot of them, and they're wonderful. I encourage you to either go to a vision board workshop, because a lot of times they have a lot of magazines and different resources that will help you get you clear on what you want and get a picture. Because remember, God loves pictures. Oh, yes. Okay, but if you don't want to go to a vision board workshop, but you want your life to change, pick one or two pictures. Especially, I picked one each time. I picked one and just stared at it and let all the thoughts come in. And then I moved forward to heal, because that's what we need to do. We're in one place. We're here. We want to get here. It takes a journey of healing to get from here to here. I have absolutely adored talking with you today. I'm looking forward to 2021 because I know good things are happening for me, and I know that good things are happening for you. And I know that as you pick up some of these ideas and work with them, that good things will happen to you. I promise you that. I promise you once again that this COVID thing is going to end. We're going to be on a new path forward into a better life with more of what you want as you go down that path and choose what you want. I want that. The other thing I promise you, as I have in the past, I promise you to be here another 17 years to help you reach those goals and to encourage you to go for the goals. Go for the big goals. Go for the little goals. Go for what you want. Listen, have a beautiful day today. Enjoy your celebration of New Year's. And just remember that you are blessed by being in this community and that I love you.
Great mystery and the and all our dreams have grown. We can give, oh, give from our hearts. We can live as if we are apart, and the hope that holds us together, and the world that we live in, world that we give in, lives. Oh, when we give from our hearts. Oh, when we live as if we already are a part of the great mystery of the magic harmony. Oh, when we live, oh, we live from our heart, and when we give, as if we are a part of the whole world's giving, the whole world's living, the whole world's hope arising, the whole world's living, the whole world's giving, the whole world's heart arising, heart arising, heart arising. If we live as if we can give from our heart, we can hold in our hands the great mystery, and we breathe in and out, in and out, the magic harmony. We can give, we are giving from our heart.
Thanks everyone for being here. Before we begin our musical creation, we insist this is the perfect time to indulge in some chocolate and a decadent beverage of your choice. This song is about the power of community by sharing love. An African proverb states that it takes a village to empower each generation. In difficult times, we must come together as a whole village. A whole village has everyone in united connection with diverse ways of living. A whole village has everyone building their integrity, strength, and the courage to face new challenges. A whole village is remarkably kind to newcomers and continues with deep compassion in times of trouble. This village forms a circle of care, filled with light. So may we all be healthy, safe, and strong in these difficult times. May we all be considerate, compassionate, and understanding in these difficult times. And may we all recognize and remember and engage in opportunities of growth in these difficult times. Let our village glow. It takes a whole village to make a person. It takes a whole village to spread their light. Everyone has shoulders to lean on. Everyone sharing the love. It takes a whole village to make a person. It takes a whole village to spread their light. Everyone has shoulders to lean on. Everyone sharing the love. Let the love shine, shine, shine. Let the love shine, shine, shine. Let the love shine, shine, shine today. Let the love shine, shine, shine. Let the love shine, shine, shine. Let the love shine, shine, shine today. It takes a whole village to make a person. It takes a whole village to spread their light. Everyone has shoulders to lean on. Everyone sharing the love. Everyone sharing the love.
Thank you for joining us for this celebration of faith and fellowship. We'll be back next Sunday, and for those of you, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them in the comments section. If you appreciate this video and the work that the Center for Creative Living is doing, please press like on the video. You can share the video, and also please subscribe, because that will help this community and the church grow. Remember, in these difficult and challenging times, the opportunity to give and support an organization that has done so much for the community is tremendously important. Please help the Center for Creative Living continue in the wonderful work that it does. We will make it through this. We will be stronger for it. Our faith will carry us. Be blessed, be safe, and have a wonderful week.